Oh my goodness, how did we get here? How did we get here? I'll tell you how we got here. At the beginning of the month, I said I was doing a month-long fast/detox. In the first week, I did a dry fast for the first 2 days and then a water fast for 5 days, week-long fast, and I moved right into juicing. And I said I was gonna juice for the rest of the month. On this day of recording, I'm just over a week out from this coming to an end. And I've been telling you about the things that's been happening along the way. The different changes I felt, the different variety of kinds of juices that I've been making for myself to kind of keep me going. And I've never talked about this thing. And I know y'all been waiting on this. I know you have. You don't have to tell me. I know you have. Okay, so how has the poo been? First off, let me just say that this is not going to be the most glamorous video. I'll try to clean up, as it were, the words a little bit, but this ain't gonna be the most glamorous video. So if you're kind of weird about hearing these kinds of things, then I don't mind you moving on to the next video. But initially, let me talk about how it was prior to me beginning. That way you and I have something to compare it to. So before I even began this, it was clear for me, I can clearly notice that things were not moving as smoothly as they could have been. I know most of that is due to diet. I'm not trying to deny that or question that. Most of it is due to diet. Your body responds to what you give it, and in turn, it disposes of what it doesn't need. You give it more of what it doesn't need, the more you'll have to dispose of said things. So since my diet was so rough, it was showing when it was time to go. And I could tell that things weren't as smooth as they could have been. And that gets annoying at times. It shouldn't be a task to go, right? It shouldn't be a task. It should be easy. There should be no resistance. It should be easy, but when you're going through your little things and you don't have the willpower to change anything, you find a way to deal with it somehow. You put yourself through it, even though you know you hate it. I guess you just love the thing that's causing that a little bit more. We're all guilty of that. So there we have it. Things are a little bit rough initially. What happened once I switched over? In the first week, nothing happened. During that 2-day dry fast into 5-day water fast, not much of anything happened. I think I went once, if I could remember back that far. But I went once throughout that fasting period. So what that tells me is how I had conditioned my body was it wasn't going to work on the problems that were there, but it was always going to expect me to give it something that it needed to work hard on. So it prioritized that before it worked on the whatever issues that have been there for long periods of time, if that makes any sense. So during the fast, I gave it nothing to do. And throughout the duration of that fast, I guess it was figuring out, oh, we don't have anything to do. We don't have any work. All right, let's get to what's going on already. Let's get to the problems that have been here for a long period of time. Okay, so then I moved straight into juicing, primarily juicing fruits. We all know fruit has the things in it that stimulate you anyway in this area, right? So since I'm drinking nothing but the juice, nothing but the liquid, I'm going to be getting its laxative qualities, if I can say that. So essentially the body takes whatever it needs from those juices and flushes the rest. And let me tell you, this is where we are. Ever since that second week, ever since that first week I started juicing, it's been at least twice a day, at least. That's minimum. And I don't even see it coming. Like, I wake up in the morning and immediately it's time to hydrate. So I get straight to juicing. I want to hydrate with the juice because the water from that juice is better instead of drinking water, right? So I immediately go to hydrate my body. I feel nothing. Nothing's going on the inside, right? No sooner than about 10 minutes having that first juice, I'll be sitting down, maybe start doing some work on the computer or something, and it happens. It happens. And when it starts to happen, when it starts knocking at the door, if you know what I'm saying, you need to go answer that call. You need to go answer that call. You don't want an accident. Fortunately, I haven't had an accident yet, but I'm not taking that chance. And here's another thing. Even if as the day passes and I'm drinking juice later on in the day, you would think you're just like, I'm not taking in any solids or anything. There shouldn't be anything there, right? No, you drink another juice, 10, 15 minutes, you're gonna start to feel it again. So I took a look into the bowl to see what I produced because I wanted to see what exactly is coming out of me if I'm not taking in any solid food. What's happening? The difference in it between before I started this and now is vast. So if I can paint the picture for you and get ready for this. So instead of it being Snickers bars, candy bars, it went from that to complete water, like liquid. The remnants left behind was just like color changed water. And I dealt with that for about a week, maybe a week and a half. Now, at this point, it's more like taffy. So it went from Snicker bars to liquid to taffy. So if I was to analyze the kind of flushing it's doing now it's removing things that have been stuck in my intestines for long periods of time due to the way my diet is. From childhood all the way up until now, or maybe a few years ago when I started this, it's been nothing but toxic intake, toxic foods, bad foods. I mean, even if all the while I thought I was eating healthy, most foods just weren't meant for human consumption. I hate to tell you, I hate to break that news to you, but believe it or not, most things just weren't meant for us to eat. So we're talking about from youth all the way up of nothing but bad things, right? Getting stored inside of your body. Your body's storing these things because it just doesn't know what to do with it. And since you take it in so much, it can't move it as fast. It's not built to take in so much badness and be able to get rid of it in such a quick fashion, the quick turnaround that we give it. 3 meals plus per day of nothing but this stuff. So that's where I think I'm at now, which is where I want to be. At this stage of just removing all this toxicity that's built up inside me that only wants to make me sick and make me put on weight and just make me not as healthy and well as I could be. Just the nastiness, all the sludge needs to leave, get out of my body, taffy. So that seems to be the current stage that I'm at now. This will probably be where I'm at until this ends. I may stretch it a little bit further and go out another week or so, something like that. I'll just have to see what I'm feeling at the time. But right now I feel amazing. I feel tremendously lighter not taking in solid foods for as long as I haven't. And psychologically, it makes me feel good to know that I'm not intaking solid foods, but I'm still releasing things, right? Like, where's that coming from? If that's in there, it needs to be out. Am I right? I'm not taking anything in, but I'm dropping stuff. Mentally, psychologically, that just makes me feel real good. It makes me feel like I'm really detoxing. I'm really getting rid of the bad things inside my body. And that's the sole purpose behind detoxing, to remove toxicity. Sorry for the candy bar, water, taffy talk, but it's necessary at times. Talk to you guys in the next video. We won't talk about taffy poop.